it working? No. It isn't working. Why is it not working? It working? Okay. I just, the streaming thing isn't showing me what's going on. Like, it's not saying that it's working. Even though it is. Let me count down. Over there. There we go. That'll do it. Now the text is really big. Anyway, so let's go through chat real quick. Podcast, what's up, dude? Sorry, I had to do some dishes real quick. I told you I'd join your next stream. Hey, Stingy, what's up, dude? It's been a couple days. It's been a minute, man. I thought I'd be doing Apex, but I'm not gonna be doing Apex. Yeah, the countdown's in a really bad spot. Yep, I should be at the right side. Yep, this is new because oh whoops, even the starting soon logo there is in a bad spot. That's got to go over there because I made the chat bigger. So that's a thing now. You don't have any sound, but you're here. Oh, Dylan, hey, dude. You seem new. I don't think I've seen you around the stream. So thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate it. We're gonna get going in a second. You should hear the music, yeah. Oh, you meant that you don't have your sound on. Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. Cool. Let's go ahead and get into it then. This one. That one. All right. So, for those of you that are new to the Trailmaker streams, this is a time for you guys to come by and either request that we showcase someone's content. That could be someone's channel. That could be, someone's YouTube's, their Twitch or something, or if you want to, just submit some content to maybe look over or something. We had a guy come by and wanted us to check out one of his school projects or something like that. And so we went on stream, and I've got a couple years of video experience, and I've got 6 years of photography experience. So I have a lot of potential insight for beginners on how I do things and how I would maybe change what you guys have made creatively. This is also a time for you guys to come by and use !server and come by and join the server and show me what you got. If you guys are into Trailmakers, if you guys want to come by and show me what you guys have built, or show me anything like that. I'm not much of a builder. So I just mess around with what you guys give me. We can do like little challenges or stuff. I know some people want me to do dogfights and stuff. I'm not super great at that, so we don't usually do a lot of dogfights. We have in the past. Not something that I want to do a whole lot of. We typically mess around with all the different things that yeet you and stuff like that, and that's kind of what we do here. So at least for Trailmakers, and yeah, and then Apex, we typically try to go pretty hard. I do like to win when I play Apex, so I'm always playing somewhat competitively, and I'm not playing a lot of Apex. I played last split, and so you guys can go on the VOD channel for YouTube and check out those streams, or anything like that. Oh, whoa, I didn't think this thing would start like that. Okay. And there's some content over there for you guys. Block, how do I use this thing? And yeah, that's about it. T is to flip the props. Okay. That's almost impossible. Why do you have them like that though? Like, I can't even take off with that. Oh, the VTOL isn't working yet. Okay. That was confusing me that was even like a thing. But yeah. So that's kind of the summary, I guess, of typical content on the channel. I'm a big fan of Battlefield, and I haven't played a lot of the recent ones because it just hasn't really been hitting home for me. And I am a fan of Battlefield 1. I did not get Battlefield 5 or Battlefield Hardline. I had Battlefield 4 for a little bit and didn't really get a lot of chance to play it because a buddy stole my copy, and that was a while ago, and I didn't really feel like having to deal with getting another copy, so I just kind of moved on. But I've got God knows how many hours on Battlefield 3, and Battlefield Bad Company 2 is one of my favorites. Really a fan of both Bad Company 1 and Bad Company 2. Some really awesome improvements from Bad Company 1 to Bad Company 2. But overall, it's been hard to find a Battlefield that I have enjoyed more than Bad Company 2. I definitely loved Battlefield 3. That was one of my favorite games of all time. And I'm sure if I had more time on Battlefield 4, it would have been the same feeling. I just didn't have that chance to do that. But in the 1 week that Battlefield 1, the last thing that I built in Trailmakers, man, it's been a minute. I think the last thing I built in Trailmakers was my hovercraft, but I think it was probably this guy. That was probably the last thing that I built in Trailmakers. Oh, I mean, but this was just for tank steering, or maybe no, it wasn't the pod racer. I don't think it was the pod racer. Paco gave me a copy of the 747. But the 1 week that the Battlefield 1 beta was out, I hit level 78, and I was the highest level person in every lobby that I ever played in. Something new today, I don't know. I'm not much of a builder. I like you guys are so much better at this than I am, and I just don't have the time to put in to get to building this kind of cool stuff. And I like this kind of cool stuff, but it's so much easier just to play with the stuff that you guys make for me, because then I don't have to worry about it, you know? Like, I don't have to worry about building all this stuff, because this is fun to be able to mess around, but like the 6 hours that it would take me to make this is just kind of not really a thing right now. So there's that. But Battlefield games, I historically have had a lot of fun on. I do really like Satisfactory. If you guys have not checked out Satisfactory, you can help. Oh, I know you can. You guys have been super awesome with that. You guys used to help me build like every stream. The new Satisfactory is amazing. One of my favorite games. It's still in early access, but it is a fantastic game for early access. Super playable. Like, honestly, like full release kind of polish on the content that's out right now. There's just not a lot of it. But that being said, not a lot of it is still hundreds of hours, right? Like, I am a huge fan of Satisfactory, and that will be something we stream for sure. Satisfactory will be something that we stream, and we're kind of waiting around for other people to come by and do their thing. But this guy's pretty cool, Block. It's a little nose heavy, but you know what? Actually, is it? No, it isn't. It's not nose heavy enough. It needs more weight on the nose. Yeah, it needs more weight on the nose. But otherwise, I mean, that's doing really good. I don't know what you would be able to do though, because you've got the seat up further to help with that center of gravity shift. You could probably sneak a weight block in there, maybe. No, but that'd be too heavy. Weight block would be a bad idea. Yeah, it wouldn't be a good idea to put a weight block in there. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's definitely like controllable. It's by no means like, if it's gonna tilt anyway, I'd want it to tip up, because when it tips down, that's annoying as shit. But tipping up, I can live with tipping up. Tipping up doesn't make me crash. Tipping down makes me crash. How are you getting this guy to turn off just those little... I guess it's just so light that the seat movement and that little bit of steering. Oh, you've got wings on there too. Oh, okay. I see you. I see you working. All right. All right. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, whoops. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, so a huge fan of Satisfactory. Like, cannot recommend that game enough. We will definitely be playing it. They just released update 4, and update 5 is coming out this fall, hopefully this fall. If not this fall, I would say early next spring. So if that's something that you guys are into and you're like, man, this game's really cool, I think it's like $25 right now. There is more content coming out, and they're getting into a lot of the super meaningful endgame content because they're almost done with it. There's going to be 10 different tiers of things, and they're at tier 8 right now. And so update 4 brought in tier 8. Update 5 will likely refine that process even more than they already do. It's going to bring in other updates that were supposed to be done for the concept of update 3, but they just didn't have time to get, and they needed the content out. So they're going to be doing quality of life updates as well coming out. Should be this fall and this spring. But even then, like, I've had many different saves, one of which like has, I think, I've got 2 saves with 400 hours between the two. And in 200 hours of playing, I have not even like scratched the surface of like tier 6 basically. And I could still get into 7 and then now tier 8. So there's so much more to do. Like the amount of content in there right now. Like, there's people with 1,000+ hour saves off of just the content here right now, and the game's not even done. And there's a little bit of story, but they're gonna work on more of the story for sure. So Satisfactory, if you're into that kind of stuff, is gonna be super, super cool. It's a really awesome game for learning mouse and key. So if you're a remote player and you want a game that you can learn mouse and keyboard on to get used to just being on a keyboard while you game, Trailmakers is actually a pretty cool game for that too. Not gonna lie, that really helped, especially for someone who had never really used a PC precisely, because I wasn't doing any kind of design. I was maybe just doing word processing and some Excel stuff, nothing that had to be done quickly. So Trailmakers has helped a little bit with that, but Satisfactory is a lot more of that precise, minute movement with a little bit of combat, because there are alien creatures you have to fight. And so getting used to, crouch sliding and, getting all that kind of stuff down, that was huge. And it got me way more comfortable than I was before on mouse and keyboard after being on remote for like 15 years. So it is definitely something that I recommend for people who are a console player that love like numbers and math and building stuff. And there's even some super awesome creative saves too. Like, you should honestly check out Amelie the Sea. Maybe build a jet. Yeah, maybe we'll build a jet today. But here, I'm gonna type in chat real quick. Her name, Amelie of the Sea. She has some super awesome creative builds in Satisfactory, and she's got a save with like 2,000+ hours or something like that, and it's insane. Absolutely insane, the creative stuff that she made. She actually remade a train station in France, the Montparnasse, which was super cool because I've been to that train station. So I was like just like watching one of these videos of her, like her massive save, and I'm like, oh, why does that look familiar? And then she's like, oh, this is Montparnasse, and I'm like, that's exactly why it looks familiar. I've been to Montparnasse. And so with jet props, or yeah, let's do props. Let's do props. I haven't made a prop plane yet. Propellers seems like that could be cool, and this is a pretty fun plane to fly. But anyway, so that's a really cool thing that I've liked about Satisfactory, is that it's not just technical. I play it for the technical stuff, but there's also some super creative people in there. And Kibitz is probably one of the most well-known Satisfactory streamers and players, and he does streams Monday through Friday at like 9 a.m. PST. So if you guys want to come check out his streams and stuff, it's super cool. I think I host him as well, so you can always do that through my channel. But big fan of Satisfactory. Like, that's a cool game. The devs are super awesome too. The community managers are fucking hilarious. Like, I follow the YouTube channel. They didn't the video for the release of update 4 was like a Dora the Explorer like kind of video, and it was hilarious. I loved it. I had one of the developers like liked one of my tweets on Twitter, so that was kind of fun. He was making a post about how he went to go hiking, and how he didn't check the weather forecast and he was on his way back to his car and it started raining. And so I tweeted at him that, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling meteorologists. And he liked it and thought it was pretty funny. So, I got to make a Scooby Doo pun with Snoot, and that was fun. That made my day. His Twitter is Bustasnut. that's that's his Twitter. It's really funny. Bustasnut. Yeah, that's his Twitter. And then Jace is the other community manager, the OG community manager. Jace streams on Twitch as well, and he streams Satisfactory. But don't go in there with dev comments though, because that's not what that stream's for. That's his free time when he's playing the game and like relaxing. So if you want to swing by Jace or Snoot's streams, then don't be like the technical guy, because there's Coffee Stain Studio Devs has a Twitch and they stream Q&As every Tuesday, so you can go by there and ask any question you want. And that's the best place to do that. God, it's been forever since I built in this. And anyway, Satisfactory will definitely be on this channel. I ended up getting 4 of the different Battlefield games on sale, so we will be playing Battlefield on the channel as well. So Bad Company 2 campaign, that's going to be on the channel. I cannot wait to get back into that. I love that game. We're going to be playing, start with the nose. Yeah. What should the nose look like? Should it be something small? Like maybe, are we going to go with, fuck. I'm trying to make a joke here, but I can't think of it. I know the big nose joke is going to be Owen Wilson, but I'm trying to think of the little nose part. Small or big plane? Probably just a small plane. Make it a bit easier. We do a small plane, but I wanted to make an Owen Wilson joke for sure. But now now I kind of can't because I kind of ruined the setup there. But let's see. What are we gonna do here? Well, there's that. 3 wide planes are easier to make small. Oh, so using like the motorcycle seat then instead of the cockpit here. You're about to finish the campaign. Oh, for sure. The Trailmakers campaign or the Satisfactory or Bad Company. Trailmakers. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I did the Trailmakers campaign too. Though we streamed that as well. There's some stuff in here that I made for the campaign, like this guy was for the campaign. This guy was for the campaign, and this was for the campaign. This was for the campaign. This was super useful for the campaign, by the way. Having this big guy like this, to be able to go up and over, and then pick this up with the magnet here, and then like move it over to the center of gravity for like the really big blocks. This guy was super helpful for the campaign. Used him all the time. This guy was also super useful for the campaign. I made this is before I had magnets, so I would use pistons at max speed to push blocks, and it would make up for me only having the Bulldog engines, so that I could push bigger blocks to get like the Dragon engine and stuff earlier on. And so this was a really easy way to get the really big blocks without the magnet. That way I didn't have to look around for it. If you build a small jet, you should definitely piston glitch the seat inside. I've never done the piston glitch. I made this big boat for co-op. This boat was the boat that I made for campaign. Pretty easy. Didn't have the paddle or anything like that. Just did some steering hinges and 2x4s. And then this guy is named Dragon because this was used in tandem with a barge, because the Dragon Lake is shallow enough that if you make a barge with a magnet, or not even a magnet, I did it without a magnet. I did it by doing this, which was putting wedges on pistons to compress and go underneath the... Oh, hey, Ender. I'd use pistons to shove wedges underneath the block because it's a big square to get the Dragon engine out of Dragon Lake. And so I did this whole thing on a barge to trap the block and get underneath it. And then I had a big boat up on top, like way up here, and then I had pistons that lowered the whole thing down. And then I drove the block to the shore, and then from the shore I had this big guy, which was to get from like the beach of the. I did this on stream too. It took like probably an hour to build all of this because I had to build 2 different things and then also try to drag it out. But I did finally get it. And so I had to use 3 different vehicles to get the thing out because I didn't have magnets, but I wanted that dragon engine because I was getting frustrated with how weak the bulldog was. So I had to do a boat to get out there with this contraption because I didn't have the magnet, and then I had to do this to get it onto the shore because I didn't have the magnet, and then I went all the way back to this guy. Kind of back to this guy. No, actually, I think what I ended up doing, 'cause again, I didn't have the magnet. I think I went back to the booper, and then I booped it all the way into the thing by pushing it like this, and it took ages, but I finally did it. And then I got the dragon engine, and then I could, get around. I could like drive up walls and stuff like that. Like it was way easier. Also, pre-magnet campaign, which helped me out, was this. I called it the Snatcher. And then, it's just a big bin kind of thing. And then this piston acts as a gate. And so you can open it up to drive it in and then close it to make sure they can't come out. And, there's, depending on how fast you're going in the terrain, it, kind of works, kind of doesn't. Oh, hey, bye, Dylan. Thanks for coming by. We'll be doing Trailmakers again tomorrow. If you are interested in that, if you want to come do the campaign stuff. Oh, he might have already left. But anyway. Whole thing. If you don't have to leave a follow if you don't want to, kind of thing. But if you're interested in the content, or if you maybe you have some, you can join the Discord or whatever you want. Come by and check us out again. If you're not sure if you want to leave that follow or not, you can always follow and unfollow too, just that you know when I'm live again. But tomorrow around the same time, we'll be doing Trailmakers of some kinds, and then weekdays we're working on the Apex fan rework. So this is a good example of a piston glitch. This guy. Oh, okay. Okay, that's not... Yeah, that does look pretty easy, huh? Okay. And then you're just kind of in it. And that does make it a good bit smaller. Okay. The piston has a start position of 0. Yeah. Okay. What do you have for the speed? I don't think that matters. Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, that doesn't matter. And then just no input, no output, start position 0. Okay. And then that just makes it that. Okay. Well, hey, tell you what, why don't I just go off of this then? And we'll make a little plane. God, it's been ages since I've done this. We'll go to lift and drag. We'll make little wings. Little wings. I don't think I've built in Trailmakers for like a month. I think it's been about a month since I actually built anything. Hey, what's up? Who is that? Oh, Vandal. Hey, what's up, dude? Okay. Also, you should use upside down spoilers. Okay. They give more lift. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I've definitely been told that, but I kind of forgot. Right. So we're gonna do that. And then are we going to use the rotating servos, or are we going to use steering hinges? Oh, it crashed. Okay. Right. But anyway, yes, we sorry, I haven't actually gamed in like a minute. I've been working really hard on the Apex fan rework, and I actually was about to start doing that and streaming it, and then I remembered that I'm supposed to stream Trailmakers on the weekends, so I had to do this instead. But I was actually about to start working on that. And then Block wanted to play a little bit of Apex. Yeah, podcast. Let's do that. Let's do that. Block's gonna get a server up though, so we're gonna do that. And yeah. Yeah, so you know, Apex will be on the channel in some capacity. I am eventually going to stop playing Apex, so I don't know how long we'll be doing Apex, but it'll be around for at least a little bit longer. And we definitely want to do Battlefield. Battlefield will be on the channel for sure. Very excited for that as well. Satisfactory will be on the channel. I do really like that game. I want to get back into it, but I binge the hell out of that game. So I need to be ready for that to be a thing and for that to happen. Hey, Block. City map or just test zone? Oh, okay. Just a big test zone. And yeah. Oh, that's kind of neat. Oh, this is the airports. Okay. I don't think I've ever been to the airport. This guy's pretty fast. Oh, didn't like that. Yeah. I don't think this thing likes this map likes wheels. It's weird that it didn't load for you guys. Oh, did it not like load? Was it supposed to? Here, let me try going like far away, and then I'll come back and see if that helps. Let me give this a go real quick. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's trying. It's trying. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a minute. I'm gonna go kind of far away and then come back. But yeah, Satisfactory will be on the channel for sure. But I binge it, so I need to be in a place to be able to binge it. That way, I don't get too distracted from all my other projects. Battlefield would probably binge a little bit. Definitely for the campaign of Bad Company 2. I want to try to get in some multiplayer lobbies for that, by the way. Really big fan of Bad Company 2. So if we can manage with the community to get enough people on at the same time, we could probably fill up a server because they're like 24-player servers. So it's not too hard to fill up a whole server of Bad Company 2. And there's some really awesome content on that game. So if you guys ever wanted to, it would be super cool to do community days and we could all play Battlefield together. I'd love that. So let's definitely do that. And you know, the Trailmaker streams aren't going anywhere. They're not like my favorite thing to do anymore. I have a lot of other stuff that I really want to pay attention to. No, I mean, you wanted to build a plane. I don't know if I want to build a plane. You wanted to build a plane. But yeah, anyway, so oh, you got the van? Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we'll play around with the van too. But let's hopefully this had a chance to load. Yeah, this did. Oh, that must have been what I crashed into. Had to have been what I crashed into. But yeah. Anyway, I'm definitely excited for what games are on the horizon for the channel. Very excited to start getting into that and playing those games. But we have a lot of work to do before that's going to happen, especially on the Apex rework. That has to get finished before we hop in any other game. So it might be a few weeks before we start doing anything else too seriously, because we have a lot of work to do on that Apex rework and a lot of stuff to revisit and a lot of stuff to go over. So that's going to be an interesting thing for us. But yeah, well, I wanted to drive it. I don't want to get kidnapped. I don't want to get kidnapped. You think I'm just gonna willingly get kidnapped? God damn it. Anyway, yeah, we've got a lot of work to do on the Apex fan rework that I want to get done before I start doing any serious gaming. So that will be a thing on the channel. So if you guys don't like that kind of stuff, then you know, sorry, but it's got to get done. And streaming it is a good way to both protect the work and also to kind of help with community engagement, community feedback, stuff like that. Because it would be nice to. What are the controls? Go in first person. That's a lot of effort. It's just glass. It looks. I like the little dog thing you put there. That's kind of cool. But there you go. Pretty fast too. Press C. I think it's too late for that. But yeah, I would love to. Oh, is it change cams? Yeah, no, I don't. I forgot that that's what C does. I thought that was for the doors. It's just a bunch of glass, dude. It's gonna look the same. Like there's not like a. It's just gonna show me the hood. It looks cool. I bet it does, but it looks cool this way too. I'm not really a first-person kind of gamer on this because I can't see what I'm doing and then I just keep dying. But this is kind of neat. I like this map. It has a what? Oh, hold on, I'll come back. That van drives really well though, dude. How does that look? That looks good. Yeah, it's going really good. Wow. All right. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong key. Look, yeah, see, like it's exactly the way that I thought. Oh, is to close doors. That's so far away, though. It looks exactly the same that I thought it would look. Doesn't look any different than what I thought it would. The mirrors are a nice touch. That's. Okay. Well, it looks same answer. What if I want the doors open? Why have so many hinges on the doors? It's just wasting complexity. What I mean, would it matter if it like was any different? It's not like it's gonna be bigger. Like, I guess it would help with performance and server issues, but otherwise, Jesus. Just press O, dude. You gotta chill. Oh, Jesus. There we go. I can't even see what. Okay, there's lights. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oh, the lights don't toggle. They just kind of come on. Whoa. Oh, it's just it's a different key to open them. Oh, it's P to open them. And then O to close them. Okay. I was kind of expecting a toggle versus a hold. Yeah, but like if I do like that. Oh, there you go. I can see the sensors. Okay. Like that's still open a little bit, like enough for someone to walk in, but like it says it's closed, you know. But I like the sensor that you did and then it doing the thing. Like that's clever. But I was expecting a toggle versus hold on those keys. Yep, perfect. Thank you. There you go. Oh crap, this is so hard to control. Oh, I still have his plane. That's funny. Oh, I did steal your plane. Jesus. Backwards on this van is not your friend. I don't know how you kidnapped me. Oh, you get him? Oh, you actually did get him. There you go. There you go. Jesus. What's up? The seat's gone. I can't even rebuild this. Anyway. So this is his van. Yeah, that's a good point. We're safe here. Extra safe if you go in the back because the doors can't close. But yeah. So the Apex fan work's been going pretty good. We have been working on muzzle velocity. I did a lot of work on that after the fact. I've been doing a little bit of work off stream, but for the most part, a lot of that is recorded. The early episodes are doing okay, but some of them just expired off Twitch. So if you want to watch the like beginning of that project, excuse me, the beginning of that project, then you need to go on the VOD channel now. So for those that are interested in watching some of that, it is on the YouTube VOD now. I will be re-uploading those videos onto Twitch. That way they can stay. But that is currently the only place to get them until I can fix that, which should be today. I should be fixing that today. So it shouldn't be too big of an issue. So if you don't see them on Twitch yet, if I didn't get around to it, then the YouTube VOD will bring you to the very beginning of that series. And the Excel changes are still going. The open work I probably won't re-upload to Twitch. That series is more of the creation of the data. That's a bit even more niche than the people that want to know what my changes would be. And so the episodes, quote unquote, episodes 1 through 5, those are the actual, like, basically finished changes, to sort of, you know, like they could still get refined a bit more. Not a whole lot that I could do without playtesting, to realistically. So as far as I could go without playtesting these decisions is about how far I've gone on episodes 1 through 5. Some changes were made beyond that on the Discord. So there's that. Oh, Vandal made his van a 2-seater. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Oh, am I not in the driving seat? There we go. Oh, I'm not in the driving seat. On either one of these cars. There we go. Oh, hold on. There we go. Yep, that's about right. But yeah. Anyway, so the fan rework's been going pretty good. I'm liking where it's going, and I've been working on it a little bit off stream. The Excel changes are going, but they're a little slow. I shift for sport mode. Oh, that's water. Wait, what? Oh, it respawned me. Dead? Oh, okay. Didn't realize that. But yeah, those changes are going okay. And I like, for the most part, I like where they're going. It's just gonna take a minute to get there. We know I want to do it right. I want to make sure that I'm doing it the way that it needs to get done. And even then, I'm finding myself making concessions because I would like those changes to be done to Apex, and so I'm having to, I guess, pull some punches on what Apex really should have and what Apex needs, in my opinion, compared to what would actually work for Apex. So, like, the muzzle velocities is what we're working on right now, and what I would consider acceptable muzzle velocities are not necessarily what the Apex community would consider acceptable muzzle velocities, because they're so conditioned to those velocities being so low. So I am finding myself developing them even slower than what they should be, in order to let that change feel right for Apex while still being a buff and still being a positive change that would do what it needs to do. It just wouldn't be perfect. And it perfect in my opinion, granted, not like perfect as in objectively perfect, because that is going to be based up to, you know, the play style of many different Apex players. But the minimal, you know, even a bad change, quote unquote, for what like a bad muzzle velocity would be on my basis, is still faster than what's in game. So I can make them slower than I would like, while still making it a good overall change to the game, and that's kind of what we've been working on right now. The other thing is that I really need to finish that project and get that put into a presentable format. Sub the rants, you know. I I've been ranting a good amount. I did, but nothing happened. What? Why would it do that? Why would it do that? Oh my god, that's the wrong button. Okay. When I press shift, nothing happens. Oh, it gives you more engine power. Oh, well now I don't know how many times I pressed shift. So, hold on. Okay. Beautiful. There we go. Okay. We've got this. Straight line. We're going for 100, 120. Okay. Shift. Ah, there we go. Okay. Like 190. And it drifts better. Okay. That it does. As advertised. There it is. I was wondering if we could make it flip. Oh, too bad we don't have the complexity mod. That way we could play with the 747 race. Yeah, why not? That'll be cool. Oh yeah, around the airport. Sure. Where should we start? Should we start? Let's start here, and we'll start at the back of this, and then we'll go down the runway all the way around, and then finish over here. So, how do we want to cross the finish line? Do we want to cross the finish line the same direction that we're starting, or do we want to cross the finish line from the side here? Are we going to accept? Is this going to be how we finish? Do we want to finish coming around here and then go this way like this? And, oh, that doesn't even work. So yeah, it's going to have to be making a big loop and then finishing here like that. Okay, cool. So that'll be the finish. We'll come back up and then cross the line here like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. There. That felt a little cheaty, so doing that. Okay. Oh, I might have did that too much. I don't think I drove a tight enough line. Yeah, nope. I didn't, I went too early, so I broke too much and kind of lost the lead there. Let's go. But yeah, I've got a lot to do in the Apex free work, so I totally spaced about the Trailmakers stuff, because I was gonna like, oh, you know what? Let's just get back on that kind of thing. I'll wait for the go this time. I was expecting you to type go faster. Oh crap. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna win. I don't know how I drifted so much. That was weird. Yep. I completely spun out. Then I missed the thing too. All right. Perfect. Let's give it one more go. Yeah, I didn't. I messed up my line. I didn't have the camera out the way that I usually do. Good job. I went too far away from the path there and gave you the opening to get in. Yeah, GG's. Oh wow. But yeah, man, that's that Apex thing's been taking up a lot of my time, a lot of my energy too, and stocks too. I've been trying to trade those, and it has been annoying to say the least. Different for now. What do you mean? Oh, different car? Oh, let's race with that. Oh, for sure. Oh, good lord. Does this have shift for more engine power too, or no? Nope. What does it do? Does it have guns? No. It's just gonna spin on me a lot. Yep. You want to race too? Okay. Come here. There you go. Okay. How exciting. High speed races, everyone. Aha! Hey, block, that's cheating. You don't get to go in the black part. And you still lost. Yes. Look what they have to do just to mimic a fraction of my power. Yay! I won. Oh god. Well, I mean, I'm glad that I won, but like this is slow as shit and it tumbles super easy. I was like tapping keys to make sure I didn't fall over. But it's cool. I like it. You want to race with your van? All right. Jesus. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Oh, wow. That stood up to the core. It's pretty good. Okay. I need to get some music for these streams again. Vandal, backspace. That way we can get rid of all the stuff. And then we'll race with your van. Oh, there's a boat way out there. Ah, I didn't die. All right. Oh, shit. I had a feeling I was going to cut that too close. Hey, did you guys not actually cross the white line? You're supposed to cross the white line. 2 laps. Dude, you can't say 2 laps after the first lap finished. That we can do another 2-lap race, sure, but you got to cross the line, man. You didn't actually cross the line. You just went near it. Block, did you go across the white line? I couldn't quite see. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. Vandal didn't. You gotta actually cross the line. Yeah, buddy, if you want for it to be a thing and like a bit more challenging, you gotta go across this white line here, the start line. You gotta go from here, then that's 1 lap kind of thing. But we can do 2 laps. Yeah, that would be a lap or a win. But we can do 2 laps. Block, you want to do 2 laps or are you good? Now with your Lambo? Oh, okay, I figured we'd do it again with the van. Oh, okay. The server crashed. Damn. 4 out of 4. Oh, did someone join? Oh yeah, someone. Oh, I guess someone joined in the server thing. Okay. Is the server still up, Block, or did I just get booted out for no reason? Oh, you didn't crash? Oh, I did. Okay, I'll join back in. I got booted. It's still up? Oh, okay. Yeah, I got booted out. I'll come back. Oh, it's Kazato. Hey, what's up, dude? We were doing some races. Perfect. Oh, that's right. Like I'm in a box. I forgot. I'm in a box right now. Oh, that's cool, Kazato. Wow. Okay, I need a minute to get rid of all the lag. Can't even. The textures haven't loaded in yet or anything like that. Like, I gotta wait a minute. I don't even know where I am. Can I go this way? Yes. I can go this way. Okay. I can probably go this way. And... Yep. Okay, cool. There we go. There we go. They're coming in. Textures are coming. Almost there. Perfect. Okay, the thing where I go away and come back was doing pretty good. Oh, Kazato, what happened? Did you get crashed too? Oh, whoops. You got yeeted? Aw. Yeah, it takes a second for the stuff to kind of kick in and not be a dick. Yeah, there's the boat. There we go. You have to go soon? Oh, for sure. For sure. Oh, yeah, it's almost 1. Damn, it's almost 1. Yeah, it's almost bedtime, man. ETA 5 minutes to bedtime, boys. Let's wrap this up. Yeah, someone else needs to host soon. Yeah. Yeah, we might even call it a day. I'll fly back real quick. And then we'll do the race, then probably call it good. Like I said, there was some other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, there's some other stuff that I wanted to get done today that I was going to do right now, and then realized that I needed to do this because you guys love this kind of stuff, and you know it's why you're at the channel. So I got to make sure I do the fan service and all of that. But yeah, we definitely want to get some work on the rework done today. I didn't get a whole lot done yesterday, so definitely have to make sure I do that. Kazato, you want to get in on the racer? Closed door meta. Oh. I think we're doing 2 laps this time, right? Because we did 1 lap last time and then he wanted to do 2. So 2 laps this time? Yeah. Remember, you have to cross the white line. Okay, that's a very loose interpretation, Vandal, of crossing the white line. But I guess you did touch it. Oh, God. I'm very far behind. Oh, that crash saved me from last place. Let's go. There we go. A little bit of clutter there at the finish line that kind of ruined it. I don't know why there's so many of these guys, but that wasn't great. Okay. Block, you wanted to use your Lambo? Okay. Vandal, leave that over here in the pile, because we don't want to clutter up the finish line. The car. Leave your car in the pile, because we don't want to clutter up the finish line. There were two other vans in the finish line, and it ruined the race for me a little bit, because I had to go too wide and you had to go too short. So you had to kind of like barely touch the finish line because you didn't cross the bottom of it, and then I had to go too wide because I couldn't cut in because of the vans. Not that that's like affected the race too much. I was still in last, but you know. All right. We're doing 2 laps again. Oh, that's right. Shift. Yeah, press shift. That way you can go faster. Are we doing 2 laps on this one? 2 laps? Yeah. Okay, cool. Crap. Oh, there's a wild Casado on the racetrack. Oh no, block. Oh, crap, I didn't cross it. No. Okay, that's probably... Oh my god, now I can't even... Come on. There we go. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure I lost. Yep. Yeah, okay, I got a forfeit. Yeah, attaboy. I saw Block had a little crash, and then I wasn't doing well. So, good win. Yeah, I did. I crashed into you in the beginning, and then that put me in last for like the entire race. Do you want to do another quick 1 lap with the Lambos? Because that was kind of fun. I just didn't get to fully enjoy it. Jeez, Block. Yeah, 1 more quick 1 lap, then we gotta go. Really? Why then repair or just like do something? You can run over. Oh, I'm in the wrong seat. Perfect. Okay, well, Vandal, that was a little cheeky, okay? That was little jump starty. All right. You went on 1, not on go. Jesus. Oh my god, Block, why are you so good at that? Oh crap, then I didn't even hit it. Okay. I missed you won that. Did you get it, Block, even though he went early, or did he still grab it? Oh, you got it? Damn. Wow, Vandal couldn't even cheat and win. I don't know about that. You were a good bit ahead of both of us on start there. So I think that might have been a win for Block here. The very beginning of this line. This is finish. This is where we start. This is where we finish. So then you're second technically. Okay. Well, oh, Casado, what do you got? What do you got over there? Let's take a look at that real quick, and then we got to end. Oh, you thought it was? Oh, you thought it was that line? No, 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 no. It's this one. Yeah, this one, not that one. Where'd he go? I don't see. What happened to Casado? Oh, there he is. Yeah, that looked kind of cool. We got to close the server down like right now. Yeah, that's okay. We won't have to worry about that for too much longer. Oh, well, that's neat. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that, man. Definitely different. Yeah, whatever it is. I'm sure it's kind of a pain in the butt to land. I have a hard time landing anyway. But Block's the host and he's got to go. So we're gonna shift over here to something else. Yeah, oh yeah, there's a lot of red vans over there. Yeah. Yeah, that's that'll do it. But we're coming up on an hour and a half, which isn't bad, but it's definitely shorter than most of the streams that we do. But I think what I would love to do is grab a cup of tea and shift into the rework for Apex, because I have a lot of work to do on that. I have a lot of work to do on that. So for those that are interested, that'll be what we do. Yeah, Trailmakers tomorrow. Both weekdays for sure. I forgot this weekend that was going to be a thing, so I was late today, which is why we only did an hour and a half. I was 30 minutes late. We usually end at 1 because of when all the EU friends have to go to bed. Because EU time is now 10 o'clock. So we typically do our best to start sooner so that they can come by and have a good time with us. But I was a little late today, so that didn't quite happen. But for those of you that are interested, that want to come by and check out the Apex rework, this is kind of what we've got going on. Is a lot of different formulas here for this spreadsheet. So what this spreadsheet's doing is taking the muzzle velocity at a certain range. These would be the ranges, and then applying a loss of muzzle velocity per range increment, but whether that be 25 or 50 meters. So that way we have an understanding of how quickly it's going to be reducing its muzzle velocity. And then over here, this is turning from the velocity into the time over that distance. So at this distance of 25 meters, it will have a muzzle velocity of 950 meters per second. And then this is being converted into milliseconds of how many milliseconds it will take for that bullet to go this range off of that velocity. So that way we get the raw data for how quickly the muzzle velocity is, and then this is the visual of that to show how quickly it trails off and how that would compare to good, average, or bad off of the scale that we've been working on. And that scale is based off of the movements. Yeah, go ahead, Block. Yeah, see, buddy. That scale is based off of the movement speed for Apex Legends. So that's how we created these muzzle velocities and created the best, average, and worst. Because it basically, because of the movement speed of 4.5 meters per second, and it takes half a meter to go across a character width, roughly half a meter, then the amount of time that it would take someone moving 4.5 meters per second to go half of 1 meter is 111 milliseconds. And so if you take that 111 as a baseline for what would be considered average, because that would be not having to lead your target, but you would have to be aiming on the exact pixel of the character model on one end, so that with movement it would still hit the very last pixel on the character model as well. So if you wanted to aim dead center and still hit that walking target with a reason, then that would be half, which would be 56. Because if you want to aim dead center and not have to lead, then 56 milliseconds is enough on a walking target to not have to aim ahead of them. But if they are if you're going any slower than that, then you have to start aiming further and further up the target in order to hit them while they're walking. So that is what this baseline is. And so this is why at 75 meters, best would be 57 milliseconds, because then you don't have to lead your target if they're 75 meters away, kind of thing. And then this 100 meter mark, this is still 76. You still would have to lead a little bit, but not a lot. Like, you wouldn't really, like, for our best to never have to lead your target, quote unquote, as long as you're aiming on like the very edge of that character model, then 111. So like 150 is when at best you'd have to aim ahead of a walking target at 150 meters, based off of the chart that we're going for. And so that's kind of what we've been developing and what we've been going for. 70. The main thing that that I've been trying to focus on is that what would be super, like, what definitely for Apex, what would be considered fantastic, is if at 75 meters you didn't have to lead. That would be really, really good for Apex, because right now you have to lead at like 50 meters. So this alone, like, even just having at best the 114 be 150 is pretty damn good. But also note that, like, even though that is what would be considered fantastic, it's not what we're actually developing a lot at. Realistically, and this is what we talked about with making concessions, is that the best sniper that I've developed at 150 is around the average mark at 171.4 versus 172, and 172 is enough to have to lead ahead of the target at 150. But if I did make it to like 56, at 150, which is what it should be for snipers, because it's a sniper rifle. Like, it's easy to hit targets at 150 meters with snipers. It's not that far. So there's going to be some lead for sure, but like, especially at like the 100 meter mark, like, you could realistically on a walking target, granted, walking targets in real life is 1.14 meters per second, not 4.5. 4.5 would be more of a sprinting target, IRL. So sprinting targets at 100 meters, yeah, you probably got to lead a decent amount on that. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at, that's we're definitely nowhere near realistic muzzle velocities. These are still very slow considered to what would be realistic. Like, if you were playing PUBG and had these muzzle velocities, you'd probably be like, oh man, like, this is really slow, screw this, kind of thing. But that being said, PUBG also has fairly slow movement speeds, so it wouldn't feel too out of place it is going to feel challenging in Apex off these velocities because of the movement speed of how quick that is. So this is in every way a buff. Like this is way better than what Apex has currently, but it also isn't going to be perfect, and that's what we've been talking about with concessions. Is that if I wanted this to be perfect based off of Apex's walking movement speed, then I would still need to make them faster. But because I would like these changes to be adopted and a bit more received by the community, then this is kind of where I have to go to get them reasonable but not great. And then maybe like in another 6 months, I can speed them back up a little bit more. But for the most part, like I need to kind of think more about if the game was going to make these changes tomorrow, would this piss people off, kind of thing. Like, and that's where I need to get closer to with the velocities. The time to kills, that's not a lot I can do on that, because that time to kill meta that we've been establishing, like that needs to happen. So like all of this stuff, this is the stuff that I'm not as flexible on, because this is something that there needs to be the ability for the weapons to perform to this extent throughout across the board. Like there's not really a weapon in here that I'm looking at this moment in time and going, this one's too weak, this one's too strong. They all feel pretty good on this graph right now, and I've got a good gut feeling about a lot of these changes. But where I need to continue to make these changes are attachments, the loot pool, a little bit. I need to go back into that. The bow check I need to solidify again. That's going to be a lot of work. The shotguns are going to be a lot of work. That's a really hard one to get right, or shotguns. No matter what you do with shotguns, people complain. Honestly, it's really hard to get the shotguns right. So that's been rough. It's going to be a hard one for sure. And then I had an idea for a new attachment as well to shift and help with LMGs, because I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter really complaining about the recoil ability on LMGs and how easy it is to control that recoil. Of course, it's specifically the Spitfire. A lot of people complain about the Spitfire. Honestly, I stand by everything that I've said. The Spitfire just punishes bad players. It doesn't punish good players. A lot of good players, if they're doing their absolute best, it's not a problem to beat a Spitfire. You know, it just isn't to beat it up close. It's not a hard thing to do. It can be a really hard thing to do, but once you know how to do it, it's not that bad. Right? Like, especially for movement legends, it's really not that bad. And so I do want to find a way to work into what one of the developers that I've been had a chance to talk a little bit with, and also just listen to them talk about game development, Brian. I want to start working into more of what they've called the power curve, and this is something that he talked about with the L-Star, where it's such a strong a strong gun on drop because of how little it needs to do well. And frankly, the R99 and the R301 in that category, in the Volt, by the way, are in that category for me as well. All three of those guns perform very well or on drop. And they do much, much better with attachments, of course. But it's not a gun that I think of as being held back with nothing. It's still very usable. I still pick it up every time I see it, whether it's got something on it or not. And the L-Star is a gun that has a pretty reasonable time to kill, actually 1.47 second time to kill, which is the top 9 time to kills in the game. So it's definitely a competitive gun for sure. And it doesn't need a lot to do well, because it only takes an optic and a stock. So once you get past the aim down sight time and everything, like it's a good gun for sure. It has its pluses, but it still gets beat by a lot of weapons in the game, like the alternator. It gets beat by the RE45. It gets beat by the Havoc with a turbo. But the fact that it needs a turbo is what he means by the power curve, is that there's weapons like the Devotion and Havoc that don't do particularly well until later in the game when you've been able to find those attachments. And the Spitfire has a bit of a power curve with that, and that's something that they still have a mindset for developing. They want to make sure that weapons are getting better over time and getting better with attachments, and that none of them are too strong off of pickup. That's something that is very much on their mind. So that is something that I want to keep working on, and I want to reevaluate everything that I've done to make sure that that's the case. However, personally, I don't want time to kill to be part of that power curve, and that's something where the turbocharger comes into play, where that is part of the power curve for the Havoc and Devotion, where the time to kill is something that gets better with that attachment, but it also makes those guns almost unusable without it. And this is the same thing happened with disruptor rounds, the same thing happened with hammer point rounds. Any kind of hop up that increases the damage per second is going to have that effect. And so since the turbo increases DPS, since hammer points increase DPS, since disruptors increase DPS, it means fundamentally developing guns undervalue so that with the turbo, they do better. And I would prefer that that's a play style of the weapon versus what has to happen in the first place. And this is something that could be explained with like burst fire weapons. A play style of burst fire weapons that I don't necessarily agree with is that they have that long burst delay, which is not a thing on any burst gun in real life. That doesn't happen. It's ready to go the second that burst is finished. And it's more of an ammo conservation than like, it doesn't like in. But what they do with burst guns is make the bullets do more damage so that you can have that pause of the delay to artificially extend the time to kill, to have a hard-hitting, quote-unquote full auto gun that has that delay to make up for how much damage it does in the beginning. Because if you had that gun fire full auto at the current settings, it'd just be broken. So that's something that I don't personally agree with. That's a good way to explain it, where you'd be fundamentally handicapping the weapon and then adding in some kind of loot pool attachment that's a high tier item or even just a low tier item that would make that better to reduce the burst delay or to get rid of the burst delay kind of thing. It's to where you're shifting that focus of power and going on to the whole power curve like they talked about. But for me, what I would like to continue with is what they already do, is having standard stocks have a pretty good way of helping with that power curve. Barrel stabilizers do a fantastic way of helping with the power curve. Optics in some guns, because of bad iron sights, those are part of the power curve for certain weapons. For the Spitfire, I can't stand the iron sights, but when I get a 1 or a 2x on there, it's a very usable gun for me. So that's part of the power curve for that gun. So there's a bunch of different things that can affect that power curve. Like they mentioned, extended mags is a big one, and that's something that I would prefer to see, not necessarily stuff that impacts the time to kill. And so I need to be a little bit more creative with the attachment design and how that's going to be going on with certain guns to make sure that power curve is still there. And it's little things like making LMG, like if you were to do extended mags by type, that way you could have LMG extended mags be more rare than AR extended mags, which isn't what I want to do, but that could be a thing. And then you could, the other idea for me was to create a heavy barrel so that you could create a new barrel mod specifically for LMGs, so that instead of them taking barrel stabilizers like they do now, that they could take a heavy barrel instead, and then that would diversify the loot pool and allow you to have that shift of power in a different way than you would with ARs. And then you can, that's having type specific attachments can be a huge way to help with that shift of power like they've been talking about. But if I add too many type specific attachments, then it will reduce it'll simplify the power curve for other guns in order to keep the item reductions that I made intact. So I cut out like 22 items from the loot pool. I don't want to add back 6 of them just to rework the power structure of guns. So if I need to, then sure. Like, I'd rather do that and lose the 6 attachments in progress. But I really like the cuts that I made for the loot pool health and to help looting be better and to help the guns be a bit more ready-made, just a little bit more ready-made, not a lot more ready-made, but a little bit more ready-made, make more of the guns more viable overall and all that. So I don't want to make too many changes to those cuts that I made because those cuts are really, really big cuts. And it's always easy to add stuff in. It's really hard to take stuff out. So if I have to make another round at that loot pool change, then I will. And I have some ideas on what that second pass would be, but it would mean simplifying the structure of other loot pool things in order to keep that net reduction low enough. Something that I think Apex is a really big fan of is having the 1, 2, 3 tiers of items for their attachments, and I already went through and cut that down to 2 for some of them, most of them rather, and 1 for a couple of them. And I don't think that Apex would want to do the more PUBG approach of having 1 level of attachment for every type. And the PUBG even went as far as making 1 attachment for multiple types to help reduce the loot pool, because it's just that important to have more guns than items. But the way that Apex has approached the power curve is different than a lot of the other battle royales. You could argue that perhaps Apex has finally outgrown that structure and that it is time for them to shift to the more tried and true methods that is going to help their gunplay go from what it is now to like 2-3 levels higher than what it is. And those loot pool changes would absolutely do that for them. It's just is going to really change the game in a way that I don't think they ever wanted to. And so I'm trying to do my best of keeping it in the same style that it is now without completely ripping apart everything that they did, because something else would be better. And at the same time, they also have a Legend Loba who gets items based on rarity, and her kit would be, fundamentally altered if you shifted to everything having 1 of that type. And you'd have to make concessions on what would be 1 tier versus the other if you only have 1. And it would be a nightmare for Loba to go through and put everything on 1 specific type, 1 attachment per type, kind of thing. And also would likely be a little bit of extra coding work as well. But no matter what, I've got coding work for them to do, because I have to make heavy barrels over barrel stabilizers to help keep the power curve in check. Because with the way I have LMGs and the time to kills in the LMGs, if there's not recoil that you have to adjust for, but with a specific attachment that is not a barrel stabilizer, because I don't want people being able to swap them so easily, then yeah, there's going to need to be a decent amount of recoil. And then having the heavy barrel be something that's like a level 3 item that comes through and cuts that significantly in order to make it usable at range, while having, and then that would be the power curve of the LMG, because up close they don't do great, and if you have a high recoil then they can only be used up close, and then you're getting beat pretty easily with them. But if you can hold out with that LMG through all the up close fights, then you can, until you find the barrel mod, then you can start using them further and further away. And the idea was to have snipers, marksmen, and LMGs take the heavy barrel, and then have the ARs and the SMGs take the barrel stabilizer. So that way you have like this lightweight, heavyweight kind of faction for it. And then you can have all of the weapons that would be doing way better at range now, because the improved muzzle velocities, be crippled and held back by that attachment. And then that would be a way to help with that. And I think I likely would need to have two different tiers of it too. I was hoping of just having a one purple, but I think I will need to add in two attachments. And again, this is the cut that I'm talking about, is that having a blue one and a purple one and all that, that's going to be need to be a thing. Because if it's just purple, then if you're trying to DMR fight someone else and you don't have one and they do, or or you have one and they don't, it's going to be way too easy to win that fight. So having a more common one and then having a rare one that does more for the gun is going to be important for the health of the range fighting dynamics. Otherwise, it'll be too frustrating if it's just a high tier item that like no one can get. But again, that also means one of two things. It either means adding in more items to the loot pool, which I wouldn't want, or it means reducing the recoil overall and reducing the impact the attachment has. But then you get the issue of the power curve not being the way that it needs to be, so that those weapons are not being called out for being OP the minute that this change goes through, because that's just how it would go down. They would all get called overpowered, and they'd all be pissed off at Respawn for listening to me, basically. And realistically, what I did was even the playing field a lot and allow ranged combat. But when it would take time for people to adjust, basically, because when they add in a gun with fast muzzle velocity, people recognize that it's overpowered, not because of how much damage it does, but because of how consistently it can put out that damage at range. And so without them making changes to every gun's muzzle velocity, there's nothing that they can do about the one that is a reasonable muzzle velocity, because people keep getting hit by it at ranges that they're not used to, and not just hit once like they already can be, but hit twice, 3 times, or knocked at range, because of how easy it is to hit those shots compared to what all the other guns. And so it's a fundamental advantage whether the time to kill is long or not, because the time to kill may be long, but you're not missing as many shots as the guy with the faster time to kill at that same range. So your time to kill practically becomes way faster because you're more accurate. So that's just kind of the struggle that Apex has had, and this is all the struggle that we are trying to fix, and hopefully I can fix. But it's not an easy task to go through and do all of this, and thinking that it is easy is going to mean that I make mistakes. And I went through the first time thinking, how hard could it be? And I went back the second time and I realized that there were a lot of things that I did that I realistically probably shouldn't have done. I made some guns too strong. I made some guns too weak. I had muzzle velocities that weren't practical, that wouldn't have felt realistic. I went back and did that a second time, and I had some that were going to be dropping off so fast that it just wouldn't feel right. And so I had to go back again and do that again and again and again and again. And and so that's, I think I'm on like the 4th tweak of muzzle velocities right now. This is not an easy thing to get right. These muzzle velocities are kicking my ass because they're very specific of what you need to look for and what needs to happen. And especially what we talked about before of I made mine just way too fast. The very first time I did this, I made mine way too fast. I made mine in accordance with this graph, with this chart. And I had the fall off rates way too fast. I had the base velocities way too fast. The charts looked great, and they all balanced exactly the way that I wanted them to, but the numbers were just too bad, basically, unrealistic. It wasn't practical. None of that change would have been practical, and none of it would have felt the way that I wanted it to feel. So it took another run through to get this stuff going the way that I want it to, but now this is way better, and it's going pretty good. So we've got more work to do on that, and it'll be a different stream too. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a chance to show the other side of the channel for those of you that only come by Trailmakers that, you know, want to know what else I'm doing without having to come by every single stream. This is what I've been up to. And so there's a small archive on the channel to walk you through all that if you want to see this start to finish, because we started all this from scratch. Basically, minus making a lot of the forums. A lot of that stuff I either did off camera or was already done ahead of time from my last attempt at this. So yeah, that's basically it. I think we're gonna go ahead and switch over to get the fuck out, because we're gonna go ahead and end this stream, take a small pause. I'm gonna get myself something to drink, reset, and then we're gonna get going and dive into all of these changes and things I need to do. If you guys have questions, it's more than okay to come by and ask them. You can ask them on the Discord too. That'd be even better. If you guys do have questions, please, the Discord would be preferred so I can address them all in one big Q&A video. But if you would rather come by live, then that's totally fine too. I'm doing more of this work offline so I can kind of keep that rhythm and allow these streams to be more community engagement as well as making these development changes. And the more that you guys come by and ask questions, the better I can attempt to explain this, because there's going to be some people that don't understand this and are going to be rather close-minded and decide that them not understanding, hey, Jonah Skull, what's up, dude? It's going to be people not understanding what the numbers are and then them getting close-minded and then deciding that they just don't like it. So I want to do my best job to explain this the first time that they see it so that they can hopefully not box themselves in and call me dumb because they don't know what I'm talking about. So that would be ideal. But yeah, anyway, so Joan, we are going to end right now, but we will be right back. So if you've got nothing else to do and you want to come by and do some Apex stuff, then that's what we'll be doing. You know, dealing with muzzle velocities. We went ahead and we need to deal with the reloads again. Reload times we have to deal with, reload mag capacities we're going to take another crack at for sure, just to double check. I did this once and I'm pretty happy with it, but we're going to double check it. We went ahead and did time to kills already, so this was headshots, body shots, and limb damages, and it goes for every gun in the game, so that way you can kind of figure out what the balance of all this is supposed to be. That all went through and did pretty well. Yeah, and we're graphing out the muzzle velocities as well to make sure that they all look okay, and so far they do. So far they're looking pretty good, going off of the baseline and stuff. And we're kind of using the baseline as a bit more of a guideline here, because we don't want it to be too fast and so fast that people are like, wow, fuck Apex, this sucks, kind of thing. We just did Trailmakers. We just ended that half an hour ago already. Wow, that's been half an hour that we've been talking about this. That's crazy. So we just ended that. So when I end the stream, you can go back and rewatch the beginning of the stream if you want to, and that'll be that. So that way you can deal with you can do all that and watch the beginning. And then tomorrow, yeah, sorry, man, we're done. But tomorrow at 11 Pacific time, so 2.5 hours before now. So whatever time it is for you now, 2.5 hours, or 11 a.m. PST, Saturdays and Sundays, or when we do Trailmakers, and we go until about 30 minutes ago is when we end. So that's when we end. Yeah. So we go from 11 to 1 PST. That is the schedule. It should be on Twitch about when we do that and how long we go for. I was late today, so we didn't quite hit the 2-hour mark, but we did end at 1. And yeah, we're gonna get going on Apex stuff again because I need to get this project done. It's been taking up a lot of my time, and not that I want to get it over with per se. I still want to make sure I do this right. But I started this back in January, and I spent a couple months as like a breather to reset and come back, and I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did, because I needed that couple months to, you know, get over the burnout and come back to this with a fresh set of eyes and go like, okay, like what am I doing here? Like, because this isn't quite what it needs to be. And so I was really happy to be able to take that breath, come back and fix this the way that it needed to, because I honestly think that I did a bad job the first time. So to be able to come back a second time and get this done it's going to be pretty big. I might have been right. It might have been okay. It's definitely something that I could have saved if I wanted to, but starting from scratch again, I think was the right call. It's been really nice to kind of come back and pace myself and take this bit by bit and bite off little chunks and try to make sure that those chunks are just the right fit, just the right way. And so far, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. But we do need to hop back in and review all of this. But I want to finish the velocities first before I start reviewing anything. And I think if I had to put on a checklist of everything that there is to do, I think the velocities are up first. We need to finish velocities. We need to deal with reload times and mag sizes. And then I think that might be it. I don't know what else there would be for the guns, because we did ADS times. Movement speeds are going to be a thing that I should really look into. That'll be a way to further do stuff. But I think once we do muzzle velocities and we get all the charts looking the way that they need to, we might be at a point where we can start comparing and we can start getting into the nitty-gritty details of what this is all going to be. Because once we have velocities done, we can start checking time to kills based off of distance, and that's going to be huge to be able to check at like 75 meters and 150 meters how the time to kills are affected for all the different weapons, and see how that meta changes over range, and allow that whole fold to come in. And then we can start getting into attachment design for the weapons, which is going to get into extended mag, standard stocks, barrel stabilizers, all that kind of stuff to help finish fleshing out the power curve of the meta. And then once we've done that, that's basically it. And then I can take another look at legend changes. I can take another look at loot pool changes, and kind of finalize the whole project. And then it would just kind of come down to comparing it to Apex's current version, and then we're done. So I think we're probably at like a good halfway mark on the rework. And then we've got to do everything that we just did quickly again, and then compare. And comparing is just going to be grabbing data from either sites or from captured footage. I'll probably have to go off captured footage. I'll definitely mess in with the movement walking speed too. I think that needs to be a new avenue of depth for Apex, and to add in a movement speed penalty for LMGs. And go from there. You know, something that Call of Duty has been doing for a good long while now is when you carry an LMG, you move slower. And Apex has historically been simple with this, and that is honestly a great attribute to its success. The simplicity and the ease of use and how quickly you pick it up has always been a very strong selling point for Apex Legends. But it's a 2-year-old game, and I think a lot of the pros are kind of realizing that the skill level is rising pretty easily, pretty quickly, and they seem to be upset with it. You would think that they would want that so that they can get faster queue times, but I think they're honestly a little pissy about losing that elite status they have, and how few of them there used to be, and now everyone's getting a lot better at it. And so frankly, I think Apex could do with a slight difficulty bump in just the complexity of the weapon mechanics, just making the weapons a bit more forgiving at range, making the weapons have a slightly faster time to kill overall, and making those guns have more in-depth pros and cons to help flesh out and adapt playstyles. Because right now, I think you should be moving at the same pace with an LMG out that you do with an SMG. It should be roughly the same movement speed. So I don't think there's enough of that impact for this, and that would I think that'd be a good thing for Apex. Nothing crazy, you know. It can't be like a 60% movement speed with an LMG out like what Call of Duty does. That's too far. That would make people pissed. But you know, that kind of thing. You know, it does need to be a thing that is slightly talked about. At the very least, having people move like half a meter per second slower with LMGs, which honestly could be a thing. I need to retest that. But from what I tested in Season 7, that wasn't quite a thing. I know that they do have a weapon balance patch coming up. So it's going to be a little bumming to compare it to old data. So I honestly might wait for that weapon patch to release. Because I think when they released the Revenant Heirloom, I think there's going to be a weapon balance update. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but I probably won't get done until that weapon balance anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is finish my weapon changes and then likely wait for the weapon balance to come out and then compare after the balance, because there is going to be a shift in the meta coming up in Apex. That's been hinted at already by some of the devs. So I think it's going to be smart to save myself the work, because that's capturing all their footage is what I don't like about this project. So doing my own data is great, and if I could just like be told the data, then dream project. But having to go in game and count frame by frame and do all the video editing and computer work that it's going to take to get that data, that I don't like. So I'd rather just have the raw data presented to me, and then I can tweak and adjust the way that I know how, off of how it feels in game, and help refine that a bit more for what would be my personal preference. But other than that, I just have to go in and capture it in game. So anyway, we're gonna end. That is, I think, enough details about the Apex project for a Trailmaker stream, and you're more than welcome to come by these streams and ask questions if you'd like to get more involved. I would recommend watching all the other content on this before doing that, but you do you. And so thank you everyone for coming by. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all the different platforms like YouTube and Twitch and all that kind of stuff. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channels yet, then please do. That'd be a huge help. We've got 120 people on Twitch and like 60 people on both channels on YouTube, so it would be really awesome to grow those channels a little bit more. But I know that you guys probably prefer Twitch in the first place and don't mind watching the broadcast here. But the YouTube channel is definitely where I would like to have some growth as well. But anyway, that will do it. Thank you all for coming by. I really appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one.